Welcome back. Before we get started, well, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all of which can be done down below. If you do, you'll feel better about yourself, and I will be very grateful. Mahalo. Welcome to another episode of A Moment of Tiki, coming to you from the Lagoon of Mystery, my home tiki bar here in Central Texas. Now, I don't often have guests in the lagoon. Oh, scratch that. That's not true. I do often have guests in the lagoon, but I don't always have guests on A Moment of Tiki. I changed that up this time by hosting direct from Oregon to you, Duke and Lola of BossaNova Life. BossaNova Life is one of the longer running tiki themed shows on YouTube, but they don't just limit themselves to tiki, as we will discuss. They get into all sorts of mid-century and related genres, car shows, trailers, vintage trailers, thrifting, all sorts of stuff. So fasten your seatbelts and belly up to the bar, because we're about to have a pretty cool conversation and you are invited along for the ride. All right, we have special guests in the Lagoon of Mystery today. Duke and Lola BossaNova, welcome to our abode.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Yes, thanks for having us.
Oh, this is great. I mean, I've been watching y'all's videos for several years now. Ever since I got into tiki, that's kind of one of my entryways when I started looking and seeking more stuff on YouTube. And y'all are all over the place. Y'all don't just do tiki. You do custom cars. You do burlesque and pinup. You do thrifting and antiquing and all this other stuff. Where do y'all find the time for this?
Oh, that is a good question.
Where do we find the time, Lola?
We don't watch as much Netflix as maybe we would if we weren't doing it. But, we do find time for Netflix, too.
No one's ever asked me that question directly before. But no, I actually don't watch TV at all. And my day job is, I am an advertising agent for Comcast NBC, so I sell ads for TV exclusively for all my clients, but I personally don't watch it. And for years we watched Netflix and Prime, but not so much anymore. I edit like 20, 30 hours a week.
Yeah, he's always editing. I feel like for us it's a great outlet because it's stuff that we love. Like, we love mid-century as far as decorating our homes. We like to go antiquing and finding stuff. We love rockabilly and car shows. It's just a great way for us to have a hobby together and travel and meet great people.
So how much traveling do y'all do every year? Y'all were in the Lone Star Roundup up in Round Rock this past weekend. So that's, Austin is quite a ways away from Oregon.
Yeah, that's what brought us here.
A little bit. It's a little bit of a flight. Yeah. And then we are headed to Viva Las Vegas this week. So
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we fly out bright and early.
So I figured out since 2019 we average about 60 nights a year on the road.
Wow.
Doing this. June through September, we won't be home a single weekend, which is challenging sometimes when you're trying to edit videos in between the next event and getting them out, and then also keeping the yard work up and enjoying it. But we do get to see a lot of Oregon, our home state, because we're going to spend a lot of that time vintage trailer rallies we go to. So those are several day events, and some of them are only 30 minutes away.
Yeah. And those are fun.
Some of them are 4 hours away, but we try to go to all.
And so we'll say we're gone all weekend, but maybe we're just gone for a car show and then can come home and barbecue in the evening or whatever.
So it's slowly grown over the last 12 years.
Okay, so I gotta know, how did y'all first get into tiki? What's your origin story for that?
Tiki?
Yeah, tiki.
Well, to back that up, the first major event that we went to that was like in the scene or tiki adjacent, you want to call it, was Viva Las Vegas. And so 13 years ago now, this year, a friend of ours who knew us really well was like, you guys would dig this. This is your scene. You would love it. His wife talked to my wife. So they're like, you're going to go. So I was like, okay, this sounds okay. I've never been a big Vegas fan. I didn't think I was a big Vegas fan. Gambling isn't my thing. And we went and we were smitten. We were just like all of the pinups, the rockabilly
Vintage
music,
clothes.
all of the vendors there, and there was definitely 25% of it has always been tiki at Viva Las Vegas. Rockabilly and tiki are very closely tied, and I knew I liked that growing up a little bit. And then finally, about a year after that, a friend of mine got married, or was getting married, and asked me to be in charge of the bachelor party in Portland, Oregon. And I said, we need to go to the Alibi. Because I had been there, and it just reminded me of like a Quentin Tarantino movie, or my memories of being a kid in the 70s in the Chinese restaurants in Sacramento or something like that. And so we took them there, and at that thing, they were all like, this is amazing, this is a great place, I'm so glad you brought us here, Duke. And they also came up with, you should start a YouTube channel. So those two kind of actually, Tiki and our channel actually kind of started at the same time at the Alibi.
Yeah, well, and we found ourselves traveling for tiki bars, but not really knowing that was like kind of a thing that people did as far as their home tiki bars.
We thought we were the only ones.
So we would travel and go to, tiki bars in San Francisco and different places, and then eventually you kind of are like, oh, this is something that people actually choose to do in their own home, and that brought us to that.
Yeah,
but
we thought we were crazy freaks because we rounded up some friends from Viva that we had just met at Viva who lived over in San Francisco, and we flew to San Francisco for 3 days just to go to tiki bars.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whatever, and we were thought like no one else is this much in the tiki like we are. We were going to...
Lo and behold,
Yeah.
there are other
Forbidden
tiki
Island,
heads.
still one of my top 3, by the way.
Yeah.
In Alameda, but still.
Well, y'all have your own home tiki bar, the Atomic Bikini.
Yes.
Yep. The
What's the secret origin of that?
The Atomic Bikini Grotto.
Yes.
Grotto.
Well, we wanted to be able to put, I think a lot of people do this. They start collecting, and then you need a place to put your collection. So that's what we did. We started collecting. We had all of these great items, and then we wanted to make our own space. So we just kind of started.
We had also started videotaping Secret Tiki Escapes.
Yes. So I had an idea, but other people had
we have a
already done.
series called Secret Tiki Escapes on our channel where we go and shoot people's home tiki bars, which is what we're here today for this gentleman. And at that, we had visited probably 5 or 6 at that point, and I was like, man, Lola, we got to step up our game. Like, these people are next level. So we had already collected quite a collection, but we had it done like the matting and the trim work and all of that. And so we went in and gutted the kind of pseudo adventure theme bar we had at the time.
Yeah.
Gutted it and just went straight 60s tiki.
Yeah, that's what I tell people, because like our ceiling is a dark turquoise. A lot of the look of our tiki bar is more kind of like 60s mod tiki almost. So it definitely has its own flair.
We definitely have layers on layers in our tiki bar, and you can show pictures of it if you want to. But realistically, we like a little bit cleaner look than some of the home tiki bars, and that's what I love about tiki is there's just different ways to do it.
To display everything, yeah.
Well, I was doing a little research before y'all came here.
Oh no, what did you find out?
You started off as the cigar lounger.
I did start out.
Now you are BossaNova Life.
Yeah.
What happened? Where'd that transition come from? What's the thinking behind that?
So originally, the gentleman I was talking about in the Alibi, we talked about doing a channel where we talked about like the rockabilly scene and all the different things we liked. But the idea was it would be based around me and the guys. And so there was like 8 of us, and we still get together, and I got us all red fezzes from the Modern Drunkard magazine that match, and we get together usually once every other year or so. And we would smoke cigars and drink whiskey and discuss the cigars. A lot of them aren't very photogenic, or not photogenic, they're just not comfortable on camera.
I'm
That's a better way to put it.
That's not nice.
That's not it. They're uncomfortable on camera.
They're not comfortable on camera.
Yeah, they're
probably
great
look
guys. They look
on
great.
camera.
They just didn't have enough scotch yet.
Yeah.
And then also it's like maybe carrying a conversation is a lot more challenging than showing an amazing deadly tiki bar or a classic car show or obviously a pinup or something like that. And then on top of that, YouTube just very much suppresses anything that shows alcohol or tobacco in it. They've changed the rules recently, thank God, for a lot of the tiki scene, but for many years I had to take those videos down. We had over 100 videos I've erased off our channel that had us drinking tiki drinks or discussing cigars or things like that.
Yeah.
And then BossaNova Life
Yeah, so as we were traveling, this was during the time when we were traveling and we were shooting things, and I started a short-lived blog called My BossaNova Life. I love bossa nova music. It's just one of my favorite times. It's like beachy, Brazilian jazz. And so we started talking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, that would be actually a great name for us to do this together instead of it being more focused on the cigars and the drinking.
I was trying to get her in on it.
Our
because,
travels.
Yeah, at that point I was already going to like Viva and shooting the car show there, or Rustorama in Salem, Oregon, and shooting that event. A lot of rockabilly events I would shoot, but she didn't want to be in them.
Or I'd be in them, but
like a little bit.
Didn't quite know
I
how
said,
I'd fit in.
hey baby, I would love it, and I think the name BossaNova Life is just, the minute I saw that her blog, I was like, that's an amazing name, babe. Like that's it. That's the name.
Yeah.
And so she already owned the domain BossaNova Life. And so that worked too.
Yeah.
So,
and I like this much better. I like being on camera more than I like writing.
so no, our last name is not BossaNova. But
Legally,
it worked.
but
And then,
maybe
and then on top of that, which you didn't, she at Viva Las Vegas every year they have burlesque bingo, which is one of the most popular events. There's a little sideshow where they take it off and you win. That's what they say. So they've got a big bingo board on the floor, and as the ladies take off their burlesque outfits, they fall on the numbers and they call them out on the big board, and then they flip the digits.
So
they are, by the way,
best
the original
bingo.
burlesque bingo. So there are other ones around the country now that are kind of copies of it, but they're definitely great. And they asked her to be a burlesque bunny, which was one of the assistants.
Yeah, like one beaver.
And she needed a name, and that is where Lola BossaNova originally came from.
I have
born.
to say that
So you
sounds
opened up a whole can of worms.
so much more appealing than the chicken bingo we get at county fairs around here. So much more appealing.
But do you get
Yes.
do you win chicken, like fried chicken?
No, they have like the burlesque. They have the
Oh,
grid
the
out there. The
chicken.
chicken walks
Oh.
around, and whatever grid they plop on, that's the number they call them out. So y'all's is somewhat more
it's
sophisticated.
Slightly better, slightly more sophisticated.
but that is a great story and a great
The
Texas
more you
bingo.
know.
So yeah, we've always been interested in the entire Atomic era custom culture scene, from tiki to rockabilly to burlesque to the vintage trailers, the classic cars, just the whole wider scene. But we love all of it.
So y'all have, I mean, if you go to BossaNova Life and click on their playlist, there's like 24 different, it's just an overwhelming.
Too many different subjects.
All these different subjects that they go into, and they go into in depth. I mean, it's just not, one video in this. There's going to be a couple dozen videos with each of these topics. With your feet in so many different worlds, your hands, fingers in so many different pies, which ones do you get the most gratification out of? Which are your most favorite to participate in?
I feel like I don't want to say, but I do. Okay, sorry. I feel like I'm talking too much. My lovely lady has so much
You
to say.
talk real quick and then I'll talk.
As a guy who edits the videos, and I shoot them a lot, the car shows I love to shoot. I love the cars, guys. I love seeing the custom cars. Editing them can get to be a little bit tedious. I love the Tiki videos the best. Secret Tiki Escapes is my favorite series to edit. It's always so dazzling. The stories behind it are amazing. And then after that would probably come the vintage trailers.
You can.
So what are your favorite videos, babe?
So I have to say that's a tie because I love Secret Tiki Escapes. I love coming into people's tiki bars. I love to meet the people and find out what they've done.
Good answer.
Yes, I totally one of my favorites. The other one that ties for it is the vintage trailers, and I have to say it's the same thing because people put so much into their trailers that interviewing them about them, it's like almost like the tiki bar,
I saw y'all's most recent one. I was just gobsmacked at the passion and the restoration and the effort that went into some of those. It's just amazing.
It's very close. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
the
different subject matters, but very much the same
The vintage
thing.
trailers is a similar thing where a lot of people who grew up, maybe their grandparents or their mom and dad had one of those 60s, 50s trailers, and you have to, people don't realize they might look beautiful on the outside. You have to take them down to the frame. They're completely made out of wood. They only sealed for 10 years at the most. So if they've been sitting out someone's yard for the last 20 or 30 years, and they look great, the minute you open up, it's black mold in the walls. So
dry rot.
it's a full-on restoration project and a labor of love, and it's very similar to Tiki in the regards that everybody puts their own little spin on it and how they're going to redo it and what it's going to look like.
Yeah, so I would say
fun.
those are my two favorites, just because the passion that goes into both of those
And
things.
some of our favorite vintage trailer rallies with like 150, 200 trailers have amazing tiki bars, like no joke, like mobile tiki bars, like hardcore tiki lovers who also have Airstreams and all these other will show up and set up these tiki bars, and you can go in there and get great cocktails. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
There's no downside.
Well, you've been doing videos on YouTube for more than a decade now. You've got following, you've got the identity as BossaNova Life, you've got all these different streams. What's next? What do you envision for the future of BossaNova Life and your media empire?
We've pretty much, over the years, we've done a wide variety of videos. We even did food videos for a number of years where we would go back and find crazy 50s and 60s recipes and make them for fun. So hard to edit and so hard to shoot, but we love those. Those are some of our favorites. We've really settled into what we do now, which is we do like a custom culture car show or event with Rockabilly. Then we do vintage trailers. Then we do an antiquing video. Then we do Tiki, and we will just be repeating that for a while. And every now and then we'll do a fun little other one on the side. I don't really have like anything past that. I mean, we both have day jobs, and we're living the life. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we get to do what we love. But we do well enough that we can travel to Austin or go to Vegas, and when we go to a new place, by doing those things, it allows us to go into a place and check out the antique mall scene and check out the tiki bar scene in that town, and then also check out maybe the big car show event.
I would say though, 2023, we have it all mapped out what we're going to be doing, and a lot of it is the same as what we've done in the past. 2024, we're really working to branch out and do all new events.
All new events. Same topics, but new events.
Yeah, same topics. Same going to people's tiki, secret tiki escapes, and then also, of course, trailer rallies and things like that.
So I guess the question is, we've done a lot of videos on the West Coast, up and down, all 1,500 miles of that. We're looking at getting into Florida and then like New England and the Midwest.
Maybe some
finally.
Midwest.
That would be, I guess, the next steps.
Is get out there, because these events happen everywhere, and we love to be able to showcase them, and so it's just.
We would like to get back. I mean, we haven't talked about that. We would like to get back to Spain. We went to High Rockabilly in Spain in 2018 and checked out all the tiki bars in Barcelona. It was amazing. We would love to get into Germany. Has got a lot of tiki and a way bigger rockabilly scene. The events there have 60,000 people plus. More classic cars over there than in the United States, by the way. And then Australia is another one. We've been asked many times to come over, but it's so expensive. Hopefully that would be
eventually.
That would be the big one.
BossaNova International.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all very much for coming and being a guest here. I know you have an early flight in the morning, so we are going to let you go, but safe travels. Next time you're in Central Texas, you're absolutely welcome to come back. And until next time, for the Lagoon of Mystery, aloha.
Aloha.